So I want to take a look at creating and solving exponential functions. This is called exponent form. This right here is the exponent. This is the base. So we're going to go ahead and just label that so that we know definitions. So this is an exponent and 5 is called the base. Okay, so 5 is the base and 3 is the exponent. All right, expanded form is when you write it out. What is 5 to the third power? Remember when we had x to the third power? What does it mean? X times x times x. So it's the same thing, only with a number. So what would I write here in expanded form? In fact, I'll do one and then you do another. So this will be 5 times 5 times 5. All right, so it's the base multiplied by itself, exponent times. So 5 times 5 times 5, because this is 3. Simplified form says go ahead and simplify that. So 5 times 5 is 25 times 5 is 125. But again, if you don't know it, you're just going to use a calculator. I have no problem with that. All right, just go ahead and put it in and see, what it gives you. So 125. So simplified form is 125. So what that means is if you have 5 to the third and you're asked to evaluate it, 5 to the third is going to be equal to 125. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter what you're given. I'll start you off with this, but you guys have to finish the rest. Let me say you're given 27 in simplified form. I'm going to think what times what times what is 27. It does require you to know your multiplication facts, but you can do this even without your multiplication facts. I'm going to start, for example, I'm going to show you. If I don't know my multiplication facts, I don't know what goes into 27, I'm going to try 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. See, it passed 27, so 2 doesn't work. So I'm going to check 3. 3 times 3 times 3. Oh, boom, 27. So my expanded form is right there. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So if I expand 3 times 3 times 3, I'm going to get 27. How do I write that in exponent form? So how do I write expanded form in exponent? Well, I need the base and then how many times I multiply it by itself. So what's the base? What's the number I keep multiplying? 3. And how many times do I multiply it by itself by? 3 times. So my exponent is 3. So this is 3 to the 3. Therefore, my equation form, what I'm saying is 3 to the third power is equal to 27. All right, so go ahead and fill out this middle one. So we have 3 to the x. So my base is 3. And then my exponent is some unknown value is going to give me 27. I just did this. How many times would I need to multiply 3 by itself by to get 27? Well, let's try. Let's start expanding it. And even though I have the answer right here, I'm going to do it again. So my base is definitely 3. So let's write that out. So we got 3 times, right? How many times am I going to get 27? So 1, 2, 3. So 3 times is going to give me 27. So 3 times 3 times 3 is going to give me 27. What that means in equation form is 3 to the power of 3 is equal to 27. So what is my exponent? Just looking at the exponent, what is that? 3. So this is my exponent. So x is equal to 3. All right, I'm definitely doing a fraction because I know you guys hate it. So what's my base? 1/2. So I'm going to start with 1/2. I'm going to multiply it by itself. How many times to get 1/2? And actually, I didn't have to put parentheses. Multiplied by, all right, and I'm going to keep turning into a fraction so I can see, okay, so twice, right? So 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. So how many times do I have to do it? 2 times. 1/2 times 1/2 is equal to 1/4. So how many times did I do it? 2 times. So 1/2 to the power of 2 is equal to 1/4. Therefore, what is just the exponent? The exponent is 2. Okay. Now, they do get a little bit more complicated, but really it's still fine. Okay, you've done this before, it's going to be okay. So I'm going to do this one. You guys try this one. All right, so now we have the base is 4 multiplied to something, but we also have an equation. Before I start doing the base part, let me simplify this equation. What that means is, first, let me isolate just this. So if I'm multiplying something by 2, to undo it, I divide by 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, this 2 is going to go away, right? Then in my calculator, 512 divided by 2 is 256. So you have 256 is equal to 4 to the power of t. So now it's become this question. So the base is 4. 4 times what? 4 times 4, how many times is going to give me 256? 4 times 4, that's not 256, just keep going until I get what? 256. Boom. How many times I do it? 4 times. So T is equal to 4 because 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is equal to 256. Okay. All right. You're going to go ahead and try example 4. So again, before you write down what the base is and how many times you multiply it, how do I get rid of times 3 and do it to both sides? All right. So let's review what we've done so far in this unit. TikTok uses this equation, f of w equals 400 times 3 raised to the power of w as an algorithm to approximately track the number of followers f a famous influencer has each week w. So again, before I even start, we already know, I keep writing this equation down. I'm going to keep writing it forever. Y equals a b x, and I want you to write it down. What does a mean? My initial, right? Because assuming there's nothing here, okay? And then what is B? My growth. How do I know if it's growth? If it's greater than 1. Or my what? My decay. How do I know it's a decay? If it's between 0 and 1. And then finally, what is X? Time. Yes, we're writing it on every page. You need to write that down for credit. All right, so knowing that, I know that A is my initial, so 400 is my initial. 3 is my, is it growing or decaying? It is growing. How do you know? Greater than 1. And then W is my time. So let's explain the meaning of those numbers in this situation. So 400 in this situation is, this is TikTok uses this equation as an algorithm to approximately track the number of followers. Okay, so 400 is initial number of followers. Okay, and this means number. If you don't know that, that means number, go ahead and write it out. Or you can say starts with 400 followers. All right, 3 is the followers, the number of followers, you can say grows, you can say triples, whatever you want to do. Okay, so triples by what? What is this? Every what? Each week. So number of followers triples each week. So you just have to use the context of the problem in order to define it. All right, example 6, how long will it take for the influencer to reach 32,400? Now, I've already previously taught you, you can put the equation into the calculator and hit table and find it out. But I'm going to, now that I've taught you the math, I'm going to actually use the math. So this is just a quick recap of what we've just done up here. So what is the equation? The equation is 400 3 raised to the w, and I want that number to equal 32,400. Okay, so let's go ahead and start solving it. First, I want to get rid of 400 by dividing both sides by 400. So this goes away. So I'm going to have 3 to the w is equal to, and you're going to just put that in a calculator real quick, 32,400 divided by 400, and that's going to give me 81. So remember my base, right? My base is 3. So 3 times 3 times 3, whatever, however many times is going to give me 81. And if you don't know multiplication facts, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. So how many 3s did I do? 4 3s gives me 81. So how do I write that as an equation? The base is 3. How many times? To the power of 4 exponent is equal to 81. So X, or W in this case, is equal to 4. So in terms of the time, W was weeks, so this is going to be 4 weeks. Okay, so for your question, you're going to do example 7 and 8. You can use the method that I just showed you, or you can use a calculator. If you're using the calculator version, please write down the specific steps that you use to get the answer, to get full credit. Let's practice.